Dr. Elena Rodriguez walked through the long white halls of the hospital ship UHS Sanctuary. Her footsteps made soft sounds on the metal floor as she checked on her patients. The ship was huge and filled with wounded soldiers from 3 different alien races. Humans lay in beds next to the bug-like Zathari and the crystal-skinned Vorth. War had brought them all together in pain and suffering. The sanctuary was different from other ships in the human fleet. It had no big guns or heavy armor. Instead, it carried the red cross symbol that meant safety to all beings in the galaxy. This symbol told everyone that the ship was for healing, not fighting. Elena had served as the chief doctor on this ship for 2 years now. She had seen many terrible wounds and saved many lives during the Galactic War. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge looking out at the stars. His job was to keep the ship safe while it moved through dangerous space. The sanctuary had only small weapons for protection against pirates and raiders. The real defense was the medical treaty that all major powers had signed. This treaty said that hospital ships could not be attacked by anyone. Jake was a good captain, who cared about his crew and the patients they carried. He had lost friends in the war, but still believed that mercy was important even during the worst times. The bridge crew worked quietly around him as they traveled through the Kepler sector, where fighting happened almost every day. Lieutenant Amy Chen sat at her communication station reading messages from across the galaxy. She was young but very good at her job. Amy could speak many alien languages and often helped translate for the medical teams. Her screens showed the locations of military fleets and battle zones. The sanctuary always tried to stay away from the fighting. Suddenly, Amy heard a weak signal coming through her equipment. She put on her headphones and listened carefully. The message was in the Dominion language and sounded very urgent. Someone was calling for help and their ship was badly damaged. Amy quickly translated the message and called Captain Morrison over to her station. The signal came from a Dominion patrol ship that had been attacked by raiders. Many crew members were hurt, and their life support systems were failing. The ship was drifting in space about 6 hours away from the sanctuary. Amy looked at Jake with worried eyes. The Dominion was technically their enemy in this war, but the medical oath said they had to help anyone who needed it. Jake thought for a moment, then made his decision. He told Amy to send a reply saying they would come to help. Elena heard about the rescue mission and immediately started preparing the emergency medical bays. She called her best doctors and nurses to get ready for new patients. Dr. Lucas Wright was one of Elena's most trusted medical officers. He was an expert at surgery and had saved hundreds of lives during his career. Lucas began setting up the operating rooms while the ship changed course toward the Dominion vessel. He worked alongside Zathari medics, who used their natural healing abilities, and Vorth specialists, who could repair damaged tissue with their crystal touch. The sanctuary moved through space at full speed toward the emergency. Elena walked through the medical sections, checking that everything was ready. She saw human doctors working with alien healers as one team. This cooperation was what made the hospital ship special. In a galaxy torn apart by war, this ship showed that different species could work together for good. The communication came from a Dominion commander named Vex, who was badly injured in the attack. His ship carried 300 crew members and many were dying. Amy stayed in contact with them during the 6-hour journey, giving medical advice and keeping their spirits up. She could hear the fear in their voices, but also their hope that help was coming. As they got closer to the damaged ship, Elena and Lucas prepared to receive the wounded. They set up quarantine areas in case of alien diseases and made sure they had supplies for Dominion biology. The medical teams had treated Dominion prisoners before, so they knew what to expect. Jake ordered the ship to slow down as they approached the wreckage. The Dominion patrol ship was in bad shape with holes in its hull and no power. Emergency lights flickered weakly inside the broken vessel. Amy established a communication link with the survivors and began coordinating the rescue operation. Elena put on her medical gear and prepared to board the damaged ship with her emergency team. This was always the most dangerous part of a rescue mission. She had done this many times before, but each mission carried risks. The damaged ship might explode, or raiders might return to finish their attack. Unknown to the crew of the Sanctuary, their rescue mission was being watched. Admiral Crax of the Dominion Third Fleet had been tracking human movements in this sector. He believed that hospital ships were being used to spy on Dominion forces and gather military intelligence. Crax had been waiting for a chance to prove his theory and make an example that would terrify the galaxy. The Sanctuary moved into position to begin the rescue operation as Elena and her team prepared to save lives, not knowing that death was already planning to visit them. The rescue operation went better than Elena had hoped. Her medical teams worked for 8 hours straight to save the Dominion survivors. They brought 300 wounded aliens aboard the Sanctuary and immediately began treating their injuries. Elena herself operated on Commander Vex, the Dominion officer who had sent the distress call. His internal organs were badly damaged, but she managed to save his life. Dr. Lucas Wright worked alongside Zathari healers in the emergency surgery bay. The bug-like aliens used their natural abilities to seal wounds while Lucas repaired damaged tissue. In another section, Vorth medics used their crystal touch to heal broken bones. The cooperation between different species amazed the Dominion survivors who had never seen such teamwork before. Captain Jake Morrison watched the medical operations from the bridge. He felt proud of his crew and their dedication to saving lives. The Sanctuary now carried over 2,000 patients from 4 different species. Human soldiers lay next to Zathari warriors, Vorth civilians, and now Dominion crew members. War had made them enemies, but medicine made them equal in their need for healing. Lieutenant Amy Chen received regular status reports from the medical teams. She also monitored space around the ship for any signs of danger. The area seemed quiet, with no other vessels detected on the sensors. Amy relaxed a little as she thought the rescue mission was almost complete. The Dominion survivors were stable and ready for transfer to a proper medical facility. Commander Vex woke up in the recovery bay feeling confused and weak. He looked around and saw human doctors checking on Dominion patients. This surprised him, because he had been taught that humans were cruel and heartless enemies. Elena came to check on him and spoke in his language, asking how he felt. Her kindness made him question everything he had believed about the war. The medical teams worked through the night to stabilize all patients. Elena barely slept as she moved between surgery rooms, helping where she was needed most. Lucas performed 6 different operations on Dominion crew members, saving lives that would have been lost without immediate medical care. The alien healers shared their knowledge with human doctors, creating new treatment methods. As dawn approached in ship time, Amy received a communication signal on the emergency frequency. The message came from Admiral Crax, announcing that a Dominion fleet was approaching their position. Amy quickly informed Captain Morrison, who immediately responded with standard medical ship protocols. Jake broadcast their identity and mission status, requesting safe passage under the Medical Protection Treaty. Admiral Crax appeared on the main screen of the Sanctuary bridge. He was a large Dominion commander with scars across his face and cold eyes that showed no mercy. Jake explained that they had rescued Dominion survivors and were providing medical treatment under galactic law. Crax listened, but his expression showed no emotion or gratitude for saving his people. Elena was called to the bridge, where she spoke directly to Admiral Crax about the medical condition of his crew members. She explained that Commander Vex and many others would have died without immediate treatment. Elena asked for time to complete the medical procedures before transferring the patients to Dominion ships. Crax agreed and said his fleet would wait nearby. But Admiral Crax had already made his decision before the conversation began. He believed that human hospital ships were gathering intelligence about Dominion military operations. The rescue of his patrol ship seemed too convenient to be real mercy. Cracks thought this was the perfect opportunity to send a message to the galaxy about what happened to human spies. Amy continued monitoring communications and noticed something strange about the Dominion fleet signals. There were hidden messages being sent between their ships using military codes. She tried to decode these transmissions, but the encryption was too complex for her equipment. Something felt wrong, but she could not figure out what was happening. Dr. Lucas Wright finished his last surgery on a young Dominion soldier who reminded him of his own son. The alien had been badly burned in the Raider attack, but would recover completely with proper care. Lucas felt satisfied knowing that his skills had saved another life, regardless of species or politics. He cleaned his surgical tools and prepared to rest after the long night of operations. Elena made her final rounds through the medical bays, checking on all patients. The Dominion survivors were grateful for the treatment they had received. Commander Vex asked to speak with her privately and thanked her for saving his life. He said he would remember her kindness and tell others about the mercy shown by human doctors. Suddenly, alarms began ringing throughout the sanctuary. Amy detected weapons charging on the Dominion ships, but this made no sense under the medical protection treaty. She called Captain Morrison, who immediately tried to contact Admiral Cracks. The communication channel was closed, and the Dominion fleet was moving into attack formation. Jake could not believe what was happening. Hospital ships were never attacked by civilized forces. He broadcast surrender codes and medical protection signals but received no response. Elena rushed to the bridge asking what was wrong. Jake told her to evacuate the medical bays immediately because they were about to be attacked. The first plasma blast hit the sanctuary without any warning. The ship shook violently as its minimal shields failed under the assault. Elena ran toward the medical sections to help evacuate patients, but another explosion threw her against the wall. The lights went out, and emergency power activated throughout the ship. Dr. Lucas Wright was helping move patients when the ceiling collapsed on him. He pushed a Dominion patient to safety, but was crushed by falling metal beams. His last act was protecting the life of someone from an enemy species. Elena found his body later and cried for the loss of a good friend and brilliant doctor. Admiral Cracks ordered his ships to target the refugee compartments specifically. He wanted to kill the survivors his own people had rescued to prove that human mercy was a weakness. The Dominion crew members who had just been saved now died in the explosions, along with human patients and alien civilians. Captain Morrison tried desperately to escape, but the sanctuary was too damaged to run. Amy sent out distress calls, hoping someone would witness the war crime being committed. Elena broadcast a final message documenting everything that was happening. She wanted the galaxy to know that a hospital ship had been murdered while performing a mercy mission. Dr. Nathan Blake floated in the emergency escape pod for 3 days before anyone found him. The small vessel had basic life support and enough food for one person to survive a week. Nathan stared out the small window at the debris field where the hospital ship's sanctuary had been destroyed. Pieces of metal and frozen bodies drifted in the darkness of space like a graveyard of mercy. Nathan had been visiting the sanctuary to study how different alien brains worked. His research focused on neural interfaces that could help doctors treat brain injuries in various species. He was a quiet man who preferred working in laboratories to fighting in wars. Nathan believed that science should heal people, not hurt them. But watching Admiral Cracks murder innocent patients changed something deep inside his mind. A human patrol ship finally detected his emergency beacon and brought him aboard. The rescue crew was shocked to hear about the hospital ship attack. Nathan told them everything he had witnessed, including how the Dominion fleet had specifically targeted the medical bays where helpless patients lay recovering. The patrol captain recorded Nathan's testimony and promised that the war criminals would be punished. Nathan returned to the research station Olympus, humanity's most advanced scientific facility. The station orbited a gas giant in the Sol system and housed thousands of scientists working on various projects. Nathan had his own laboratory where he studied neural patterns and brain interfaces. His colleagues knew him as a brilliant but peaceful researcher who never showed interest in military applications. Dr. Patricia Stone commanded the Olympus Research Station and had known Nathan for several years. She noticed that he seemed different after his rescue from the sanctuary attack. Nathan was quieter than usual and spent long hours alone in his laboratory. Patricia thought he was suffering from trauma and offered him counseling services, but Nathan politely declined her help. Nathan requested access to classified military research about neural interface weapons. He told Patricia that he wanted to develop better medical systems for combat medics who treated wounded soldiers in dangerous situations. Patricia believed his explanation and granted him security clearance to review the classified files. She trusted Nathan completely and never suspected his real intentions. Working alone in his laboratory during night shifts, Nathan began developing what he privately called the Retribution Protocol. This system used neural interface technology to override the biological control systems of most known galactic species. Nathan discovered that the same brain patterns used for healing could be reversed to cause systematic biological failure and death. The research was complex and required Nathan to understand how different alien nervous systems functioned. He studied, captured brain scans from Dominion prisoners, and analyzed neural patterns from Zathari and Vorth medical records. Nathan learned that most species had similar basic neural structures that could be disrupted using precisely calibrated electromagnetic pulses. Nathan's breakthrough came when he realized that neural healing patterns were just electrical signals sent to the brain in specific sequences. By reversing these sequences and amplifying their power, he could cause neural cascade failure that would kill a victim instantly. The death would appear natural and leave no trace of outside interference. Dr. Kevin Hayes was Nathan's research assistant and closest friend at the station. Kevin had worked with Nathan for 3 years and knew his research better than anyone else. Kevin began to notice that Nathan was acting strangely and working on projects that he kept secret. Kevin tried to ask about the new research, but Nathan always changed the subject. Kevin became worried when he discovered that Nathan was testing his neural weapons on captured Dominion prisoners held at the station. The testing was done in secret. Medical sessions where Nathan claimed to be studying alien brain functions. Kevin found the test results and realized that Nathan was deliberately killing the prisoners using some kind of neural weapon. The test results showed that Nathan's neural disruptors could kill Dominion, Zathari, and Vorth subjects within seconds of activation. The weapons worked by sending specific electromagnetic frequencies directly into the brain, causing all neural activity to shut down immediately. Nathan had created the perfect murder weapon that left no evidence behind. Kevin confronted Nathan about the illegal experiments and threatened to report him to station security. Kevin said that Nathan had become a monster who was no better than Admiral Krax. Nathan listened calmly to his friend's accusations and then invited Kevin to see his latest research results in the laboratory. Nathan activated a prototype neural disruptor device when Kevin entered the laboratory. The weapon looked like a small medical scanner, but generated focused electromagnetic pulses. Kevin collapsed immediately as his brain stopped functioning. Nathan watched his friend die and felt nothing except satisfaction that his weapon worked. Perfectly on human subjects, too. Nathan staged Kevin's death to look like a laboratory accident involving experimental medical equipment. He filed a report claiming that Kevin had been accidentally exposed to dangerous electromagnetic radiation during routine testing. Station security investigated the incident, but found no evidence of foul play. Nathan attended Kevin's funeral and spoke about losing a dear friend and colleague. After Kevin's death, Nathan worked even harder on his neural weapons project. He improved the design to make the devices smaller and more powerful. Nathan created handheld disruptors that looked like medical tools, larger broadcast arrays that could affect multiple targets. and orbital systems capable of covering entire planets with neural disruption fields. Nathan tested his weapons on more prisoners and refined the technology until it was nearly perfect. He discovered that humans had natural resistance to neural weapons because of their chaotic brain patterns. This evolutionary trait made humans immune to their own neural disruptors, which Nathan saw as proof that humanity was meant to rule the galaxy. Nathan began planning his revenge against the Dominion and anyone else who threatened innocent humans. He would use his neural weapons to protect humanity and punish those who committed war crimes against hospital ships. Nathan no longer saw himself as a peaceful scientist, but as a guardian angel of death who would reshape the galaxy through superior technology. The quiet researcher who once believed in healing had become something far more dangerous than any military weapon. Nathan moved his secret research to asteroid mining station Cerberus, a remote facility in the outer rim of human space. The station was officially used for extracting rare metals from asteroids, but its isolated location made it perfect for hidden weapons development. Nathan convinced the station commander that he was conducting classified medical research for the military and needed complete privacy for his work. The Cerberus station had large manufacturing facilities that Nathan converted into weapons production lines. He recruited a small team of human scientists who shared his desire for revenge against the Dominion. Nathan carefully selected people who had lost family members or friends in alien attacks. These scientists were motivated by anger and grief, making them loyal to his cause. Chief Engineer Ryan Cooper joined Nathan's team after his brother died in a Dominion raid on a civilian transport. Ryan was an expert at building complex machinery and helped Nathan design manufacturing systems for the neural weapons. Ryan believed that humanity needed superior technology to defend itself against alien enemies who showed no mercy to innocent people. Dr. Lisa Park became Nathan's specialist in weapons deployment systems. Her parents had been killed when Zathari forces bombed a human colony during the early days of the war. Lisa was brilliant at designing delivery methods for weapons and created systems that could hide neural disruptors inside normal equipment. Her hatred for aliens made her perfect for Nathan's project. The team worked in complete secrecy, telling the outside world that they were developing new medical scanners and healing devices. Nathan organized the project into three main categories of neural weapons. Handheld disruptors looked like medical tools and could kill individual targets silently. Ship-mounted broadcast arrays could affect entire enemy crews during space battles. Orbital neural pulse generators could attack whole planets from space. Nathan tested the weapons on isolated Dominion outposts in remote star systems. His team would arrive claiming to be medical researchers studying alien diseases. They would then activate their neural weapons, killing everyone on the outpost instantly. Nathan made sure to destroy all evidence and cover up the attacks to avoid detection by galactic authorities. The handheld neural disruptors were Nathan's most elegant creation. They looked exactly like medical scanning devices used by doctors throughout the galaxy. A doctor could walk up to any alien patient and kill them instantly just by activating the hidden weapon. Nathan gave these devices to human medical personnel, working in alien hospitals and prisoner camps. The ship-mounted broadcast arrays were more powerful weapons designed for space combat. Nathan's team installed them secretly on human warships, hiding them inside normal sensor equipment. During battles, the arrays could broadcast neural disruption signals across entire enemy fleets, causing mass casualties without firing traditional weapons. Enemy ships would simply drift dead in space. Nathan's ultimate weapon was the orbital neural pulse generator that could affect entire planets. These massive devices could be disguised as communication satellites or research stations. Once activated, they would send neural disruption signals that could kill every alien on a planet's surface within minutes. Nathan saw these weapons as the final solution to humanity's problems with hostile alien species. Admiral Grace Turner of the Human Space Navy began investigating reports of mysterious Dominion ship disappearances in remote sectors. Her intelligence Officer Commander Carl Johnson analyzed the patterns and realized that advanced human technology was being used in these incidents. Carl found evidence of electromagnetic signatures that matched classified neural interface research. Grace was a veteran commander who had fought in many battles against alien forces. She understood the strategic value of Nathan's weapons, but was disturbed by their indiscriminate nature. Grace believed in fighting with honor and protecting innocent civilians, but Nathan's weapons made no distinction between soldiers and non-combatants. Anyone with alien biology would die instantly. Carl's investigation led him to classified research programs at various human facilities. He discovered that neural interface technology had been developed for medical purposes but could easily be converted into weapons. Carl found connections between missing scientists, secret funding, and unexplained equipment shipments to remote stations like Cerberus. Nathan realized that military intelligence was getting close to discovering his project. He decided to accelerate his timeline and begin mass production of neural weapons. Nathan convinced the Cerberus station commander to expand the manufacturing facilities and hire more workers. He claimed that the medical devices they were building had been approved for immediate deployment. Ryan Cooper designed automated production lines that could build thousands of neural weapons every day. The devices were packaged to look like legitimate medical equipment and shipped to human military units throughout the galaxy. Nathan included instruction manuals that described the weapons as experimental defensive systems for protection against alien neural attacks. Dr. Lisa Park created deployment protocols that would allow human forces to use the neural weapons effectively in combat. She designed targeting systems that could identify alien neural patterns and ignore human brain signatures. Lisa's systems ensured that humans would be safe while their enemies died from neural cascade failure. Nathan began secretly distributing the weapons to human military commanders who had suffered defeats against alien forces. He presented himself as a government scientist offering advanced defensive technology. Many commanders accepted the weapons without asking too many questions, especially after seeing demonstration tests on captured alien prisoners. The neural weapons gave human forces an overwhelming advantage in small-scale conflicts. Alien patrols and outposts began disappearing without explanation throughout the galaxy. Human troops could eliminate enemy positions without firing a shot or losing a single soldier. The mysterious deaths appeared to be caused by equipment failures or sudden illness. Nathan felt satisfied as he watched his revenge plan take shape across the galaxy. Soon, every human soldier would carry neural weapons, and humanity would no longer need to fear alien aggression. Nathan believed he was protecting his species by giving them the tools to eliminate any threat quickly and efficiently. Admiral Grace Turner knew that something terrible was happening, but could not prove who was responsible. She ordered Carl to continue investigating while she prepared for the consequences of Nathan's weapons program. Grace understood that once the aliens discovered what humans were capable of, the galaxy would never be the same again. Nathan chose the Battle of Proxima Station to reveal his neural weapons to the galaxy. Admiral Krax had returned from his attack on the hospital ship and was leading a massive Dominion assault on one of humanity's most important colonies. 50,000 human civilians lived on Proxima Station along with their families and children. Nathan saw this as the perfect opportunity to demonstrate his power and get revenge. The battle began when Krax's fleet of 300 ships attacked the station's defenses. Human forces were badly outnumbered and fighting desperately to protect the civilian population. Admiral Grace Turner commanded the defense fleet and knew they could not win using conventional weapons. The Dominion had too many ships and superior firepower. Nathan contacted Grace during the battle and offered to help save the colony. He revealed that he had developed secret weapons that could destroy the entire Dominion fleet without harming any humans. Grace was shocked to learn about the neural weapons, but realized she had no choice if she wanted to save 50,000 innocent lives. Nathan's team activated concealed neural broadcast arrays that had been secretly installed throughout the Proxima system. The arrays looked like normal communication equipment, but were actually powerful weapons capable of affecting ships across vast distances. Nathan had been preparing for this moment for months and positioned his weapons perfectly to cover the entire battle zone. The neural disruptors activated just as Admiral Krax was ordering his final assault on the station. Electromagnetic pulses spread through space at the speed of light, penetrating the hulls of Dominion ships and affecting every alien crew member instantly. Krax felt a sudden pain in his head before his brain stopped functioning completely. He died at his command post watching his fleet fall apart. Across the Dominion fleet, alien crew members collapsed at their stations as neural cascade failure shut down their nervous systems. Ships began drifting out of formation as their pilots and engineers died simultaneously. Weapons systems went offline when gunners fell dead at their controls. The entire fleet became a collection of ghost ships floating helplessly in space. Human forces watched in amazement as their enemies simply stopped fighting. The Dominion ships continued moving on their previous courses, but no longer responded to communication attempts. Grace ordered her forces to board several enemy vessels and found crews dead at their stations with no visible injuries. The aliens appeared to have died from sudden system failure. Nathan broadcast a message to the surviving human forces explaining that he had used advanced neural weapons to save them from certain defeat. He identified himself as the creator of the technology and offered to share it with all human military units. Nathan claimed that these weapons would end humanity's suffering at the hands of cruel alien species. News of the neural weapons spread quickly throughout the galaxy as survivors from other battles reported similar mysterious deaths among alien forces. Zathari commanders began withdrawing from combat zones after entire squads of their warriors died instantly during routine patrol missions. Vorth military leaders ordered their fleets to avoid human territory completely. The effectiveness of Nathan's weapons created terror among alien populations who realized that humans could kill them without warning or explanation. Traditional military tactics became useless when enemy soldiers could die simply by being near human forces. Alien governments began emergency meetings to discuss this new threat to their survival. Nathan revealed himself publicly as the creator of the neural weapons and offered them to the human government for widespread military use. He appeared before the Human Defense Council and demonstrated his technology on captured alien prisoners. The council members watched in shock as Nathan killed several aliens instantly using a device no larger than a medical scanner. Admiral Grace Turner attended the demonstration and felt sick watching the casual murder of helpless prisoners. She recognized the strategic value of the neural weapons, but understood that they would make humanity the most hated species in the galaxy. Grace argued that using such weapons would unite all alien races against humanity and eventually lead to their extinction. Dr. Margaret Collins was Nathan's former colleague who had worked with him before the hospital ship attack. She led a group of human scientists who opposed the neural weapons program after learning about its true nature. Margaret argued that Nathan's technology would make humanity into the very monsters they claimed to be fighting against. Margaret studied captured neural weapons and discovered that they had an unexpected side effect on humans who used them regularly. Prolonged exposure to neural disruption fields gradually damaged human brain tissue as well. Margaret realized that Nathan's own mind had been deteriorating due to his early experiments, explaining his increasingly violent and unstable behavior. The galaxy began to fracture as different species developed countermeasures against neural weapons. The Zathari created electromagnetic shielding for their ships and personnel. The Vorth developed crystal implants that could block neural disruption signals. Other alien races shared their defensive technologies and began working together against the human threat. Nathan's weapons campaign reached its peak when he deployed orbital pulse generators above 3 major Dominion worlds. The massive satellites threatened to eliminate the entire population of each planet, unless the Dominion government surrendered unconditionally. Nathan demanded that all Dominion forces withdraw from human territory and pay compensation for war. Crimes. The demonstration of orbital weapons killed millions of Dominion civilians in selected target areas. Nathan broadcast the deaths across the galaxy to show what would happen to any species that opposed humanity. The surviving Dominion leadership had no choice but to agree to his demands and formally surrender their military forces. However, Nathan's victory came at a terrible cost. His actions united every remaining alien species against humanity in a coalition dedicated to their complete destruction. The Zathari, Vorth, and dozens of other races began combining their resources to develop weapons capable of destroying human neural technology and eliminating the threat permanently. Dr. Margaret Collins worked desperately to create a neutralization system that could disable Nathan's neural weapons before they destroyed galactic civilization. She understood that Nathan's deteriorating mind would continue escalating his campaign until every non-human species was extinct. Margaret knew that stopping Nathan was the only way to prevent humanity from becoming galactic pariahs forever. Nathan felt no remorse for the deaths he had caused and believed his actions were necessary to protect humanity from alien aggression. His damaged mind saw the galaxy in simple terms where humans were good and all other species were evil threats that needed to be eliminated for the greater good of his people. Nathan's orbital neural pulse generators hung above 3 Dominion worlds, like swords waiting to fall. Each satellite could eliminate billions of lives with a single activation command. The demonstration had already killed 5 million civilians in selected target areas, proving that Nathan's threats were real. The surviving Dominion government had surrendered completely, but Nathan's victory felt empty and meaningless. The Dominion surrender was just the beginning of Nathan's larger plan to establish human dominance throughout the galaxy. His neural weapons had proven that humanity could defeat any alien species without losing a single human life. Nathan believed this technology would finally end the cycle of war and suffering that had plagued the galaxy for centuries. But Nathan's actions had an unexpected consequence that he had not predicted. The remaining alien species put aside their historical conflicts and united against what they saw as an existential threat to all non-human life. The coalition of worlds formed within days of the Dominion surrender, bringing together dozens of species that had been enemies for thousands of years. The Zathari contributed their advanced manufacturing capabilities to mass-produce defensive equipment for coalition forces. The Vorth shared their crystal technology that could block electromagnetic signals. Smaller species offered their unique abilities and resources to the common cause. Nathan's neural weapons had created the largest military alliance in galactic history. Dr. Margaret Collins worked frantically in her laboratory to develop a neutralization system for the neural weapons. She had discovered that Nathan's own brain was severely damaged from years of exposure to neural disruption fields. Margaret realized that his increasingly megalomaniacal behavior was actually a symptom of progressive neural degradation caused by his own technology. Margaret's research showed that neural weapons affected human brains differently than alien nervous systems. While aliens died instantly from neural cascade failure, humans suffered gradual damage that accumulated over time. Long-term exposure caused paranoia, aggression, and loss of empathy. Nathan had become a victim of his own creation. Admiral Grace Turner faced an impossible decision as coalition forces massed for an assault on human territory. She could support Nathan's neural supremacy campaign and risk the complete extinction of humanity, or she could oppose him and leave her species vulnerable to alien retaliation. Grace chose a third option by secretly working with Margaret to develop countermeasures. Grace understood that Nathan's weapons had made humanity the most feared species in the galaxy. Even if they won a complete victory over all alien races, humans would be forever isolated and hated by any survivors. The neural weapons had gained them power at the cost of their souls and their future. Nathan established his final headquarters at the Cerberus asteroid station, where his weapons program had begun. He surrounded himself with fanatic followers who believed completely in his vision of human supremacy. Nathan's damaged mind saw enemies everywhere and trusted no one except his most loyal scientists who shared his hatred of alien species. Dr. Lisa Park and Chief Engineer Ryan Cooper remained loyal to Nathan despite growing evidence of his mental instability. They had invested too much of themselves in the neural weapons project to abandon it now. Lisa continued improving deployment systems, while Ryan expanded manufacturing capabilities to prepare for the final campaign against the Coalition forces. The Coalition of Worlds launched their assault on human space with the largest fleet ever assembled. Millions of ships from dozens of species attacked simultaneously across multiple fronts. Their goal was not conquest, but complete elimination of human neural weapons technology and the scientists who created it. The Coalition had decided that humanity was too dangerous to be allowed to survive. Nathan activated every neural weapon in his arsenal as the Coalition fleet approached human territory. Orbital pulse generators, ship-mounted arrays, and handheld disruptors killed millions of alien attackers in the opening moments of the battle. But the Coalition had prepared for massive casualties and continued their assault, despite the terrible losses. The Coalition forces used electromagnetic shielding and crystal implants to protect themselves from neural weapons. They're defensive. Technology was not perfect, and many aliens still died from neural cascade failure, but enough survived to continue fighting. The Coalition had accepted that they might lose half their forces to save the galaxy from human neural weapons. Admiral Grace Turner secretly contacted the Coalition fleet and provided them with targeting information for Nathan's weapon installations. Grace had decided that stopping Nathan was more important than protecting human military secrets. She believed that surrendering the neural weapons was the only way to prevent humanity's complete extinction. Dr. Margaret Collins finally completed her neutralization system and uploaded it to the Coalition fleet. Her program could disable neural weapons by sending counter frequencies that disrupted their electromagnetic generators. Margaret's technology spread through the Coalition forces, protecting them from Nathan's weapons and allowing them to advance. The final battle took place at the Cerberus asteroid station, where Nathan made his last stand. Coalition forces surrounded the facility while Nathan's followers prepared to fight to the death. Nathan himself had become completely unstable, seeing hallucinations and talking to people who were not there. His brilliant mind had been destroyed by the same technology he created. Grace Turner led the assault on the Cerberus station with a mixed fleet of human and Coalition ships. She hoped to capture Nathan alive and prove that some humans opposed his weapons program. Grace wanted to show the galaxy that not all humans supported genocide and mass murder of alien species. Nathan refused to surrender when Grace demanded his capture. His damaged brain could not accept that his perfect weapons had failed to secure human victory. Nathan activated the station's self-destruct system and died in the explosion, along with his most loyal followers. The destruction of Cerberus eliminated the main production facility for neural weapons. Margaret Collins worked with Coalition scientists to track down and destroy remaining neural weapons throughout human space. The neutralization program proved effective at disabling the weapons, but the damage to galactic civilization could not be undone. Billions of aliens had died, and entire species had been nearly extinct by Nathan's campaign. The galaxy entered a new age where humans were simultaneously the most powerful and most isolated species. They had proven capable of creating weapons that could eliminate any other race, making them too dangerous for normal diplomatic relations. Humans became galactic pariahs, feared and avoided by everyone else. The final scene showed Dr. Elena Rodriguez's recorded message from the destroyed hospital ship Sanctuary being broadcast across the galaxy. Her words about mercy and healing served as a reminder of what humanity had been before Nathan's revenge transformed them into something terrible. The message played endlessly as a warning about how the pursuit of justice could become the very evil it sought to destroy.